There's several types of auditions that you can go to as an actor. There is the basic on-camera read a scene audition. There is theatrical auditions, for theater. You can audition by doing improvisation. You can audition simply by talking about yourself. Some auditions are just the slate. There's a variety of things that you can do at auditions, and the idea as an actor is to be prepared for anything, but don't expect that to happen. Be prepared for everything, but don't expect it to happen. This is really important because you can memorize sides and go into an audition and they look at you and, oh, you're more of a Jane than a Sally. Here, read Sally. Ooh, but I memorized Jane. Well, that's where the cold reading technique comes in real handy. But don't let that show on your face. Roll with it all. Yeah, sure, I'll read Sally, no problem. You're a pro. Act like one. They can read it on your face. Even though you're not thinking you're being noticed and that you freeze up, people see that. The audition process is a big mystery to some. They just know it from, oh, my agent called me and sent me to an audition. But I'd like to tell you how the whole process happens from the time the client has an idea to do a commercial to the time the actor gets hired. It kind of goes like this. Let's just say there's this major shoe company. And these folks are going to be doing a commercial. Well, they hire an advertising agency to write the commercial and come up with the concept and ideas. And that advertising agency, once that commercial is written, will now take it to a production company. And the production company will see who they need, what they need to make this commercial happen. Well, they need actors. So the production company will then hire a casting director. And a casting director is someone who knows all the agencies in town, is very familiar with many of the actors, and they have a pretty good idea of who to bring in. So we go from the shoe company to the advertising agency to the production company to the casting director. Now the casting director then sends out that notice of what types of folks these clients are looking for. They need a man, they need a woman, they need a boy and a girl. So the casting director will put out what's called a breakdown, and that basically describes the project, when the project shoots, when the audition is, how much it pays, who's doing the project, is it a commercial or industrial, what type of project it is, and what types of actors are needed, what type of people are needed. A man, 25 to 35, thin and athletic with a great smile. Woman, 25 to 35, has charm, wit, humor, a funny one. Comedians might be good for this one. And a boy and a girl that look like siblings. So we sometimes just get an age, we need a boy 7 to 10. Well, what kind of boy? Well, they don't tell us, so we just give them who we have, show them who we have. So the casting director puts out that breakdown to the local agencies, and those local agencies look through their talent rosters and see who they have available for these roles. Who might I submit to the casting director for this project? By submit, headshots, resumes, video clips, voice clips, extra pictures, whatever materials an agent might have on an actor, they submit to the casting director. The casting director then goes through those submissions from all the agencies, and then they choose what actors, from talking to the production company and the client, what actors and what kinds of people they're really looking for. So they will bring in those certain people. Does everyone that an agent submits get an audition? Absolutely not. In fact, if I submit 10 people, maybe 1 or 2 get selected for the actual audition. Many of my actors don't even know when they're getting submitted or how much. They just know when they get that call for the audition. So the casting director puts out the breakdown to the agencies, and the agencies look through their roster to see what talent they have. They, in an email or online link, send the submissions to the casting director, who looks them over, who then picks select actors to come in and audition. So the actors are told by their agents what they will be doing, how they need to prepare, what they need to wear, and who the project's for, and so on. What's the rate, or how much are they going to get paid? So the agent will give the actor all the information they have in order to do the best and have the best opportunity at the audition. And there's questions that you can ask your agent. If there's any kind of mystery, that's an agent's job. They're there to help you get the job. And so you can ask your agent, are there sides? Is there a script for this? What will I be doing? There's certain questions that if they're left out, go ahead and ask. In a lot of cases, we maybe just weren't given that information, but it's always good to ask and get as much information you possibly can before that audition process happens. So you, the actor, have all the information in your audition time and day, and you go to the casting director, and you audition, and they put you on tape, usually, where you'll slate, almost certainly, and possibly answer an interview question, maybe do an improvisation or a cold scene read, or read a prepared scene. So once you've auditioned, they put you on tape. The casting director then takes that tape and gives it to the client to look over. Maybe it's the producers at first. Maybe the producer shows the advertising agent. Maybe the client's involved this early at the stage, but not always. Usually the client waits for the final picks, final selects, and then they check them out. So the production company has now come back and told the casting director who they like, but we're not quite sure yet. So for these 4 roles, we're going to have what's called a callback. And a callback is a second audition where they narrow down the selections. They have a good idea maybe of who they want to use, but they're not sure yet. And then the actors are, the production company will then tell the casting people who they want to come back, to go to the callback, and the casting director tells the agent who tells the talent. The talent then goes to the callback. Well, what do you do at a callback that's different from a regular audition? Well, not a whole lot, really. You don't want to do a whole lot differently than you did the first time. In fact, I would wear the exact same outfit. If it worked for you the first time, why change? If don't fix it if it's not broken. So I will wear the same thing. I will prepare my sides even more if I can, my script, and then I will go into the casting session. Now, at the callback casting session, the producer, director, or maybe even client will be at the actual callback. They want to maybe get to know the actor a little bit more, maybe work with them, see if they follow direction well. So that's what you want to do at a callback, is you want to just really listen and be open to what people are telling you. So many people get caught at auditions and they're like, oh, and all they hear is these voices inside their head, but they don't really hear what they're saying. Really just try to relax, easy for me to say, but just try to relax and listen and respond, be responsive. And follow direction. Be able to change, if they need you to change. Don't be so solid into your audition that you're not able to, mix it up a little bit. So then they have the callbacks. Now they take these tapes, if they haven't already, the client wasn't there already, and they'll go to that shoe company who will make the final selections for their commercial. And do you know why that shoe company gets to decide? Well, does the casting director choose the actor to get the role? No. Does the producer choose the actor? The director? Not always. Sometimes, but not always. If you want to know who selects the actor, you just got to look for the person holding the money. And it's usually the client. The people that decide in this business are the ones with the money. So the shoe company who is putting up the money for this, will have the ultimate say in who's selected. And just know that. If you didn't get the job, it's not necessarily the casting director who didn't like you, or the production company or director. It could just be that, again, you were great enough to get a call back. Maybe now it's just matching you up with a family or whatnot. But the idea is to go in, be open, be responsive to that callback. If you don't get the job, which happens most of the time, think about your audition for about 15 minutes afterwards, and then forget you ever had one. Move on to the next one. Don't go home, sit by the phone, wait for it to ring, because most likely it won't. Don't call up Grandma and Mom and Steve and Joe and all your friends and tell them, I got this audition, I'm up for this wonderful commercial, oh, I can't wait, because you're jinxing yourself. And remember, whoever you tell about this audition or callback that you got, well, when you didn't get the job, when you don't get the job, guess what? They'll all be asking. You'll have to just tell them all, no, I didn't get the job, no, I didn't get the job. Be a pro. An audition is something that is common and natural for an actor. It's not this huge event. It might be for your first one or two, but ultimately an audition is just going and applying for a job time after time after time. And in most of this business, most of the auditions, you're not cast. The idea is make it a numbers game. Try to get as many auditions as you possibly can. Now, the audition process can leap in any one of those categories. It could be client right to producer, or client right to casting director, or producer right to actor. That circle can be circumvented. But the idea is that's the general idea, from client to actor getting the job.